Okay, so sales meeting. To start, kind of what I want to talk about, I need to kind of break a little bit of news for y'all. Has anybody heard any rumors of a big change coming to the industry that's getting announced today? Even my sales team's a little shocked. So UnitedHealthcare announced, well, they didn't announce, they gave us an NDA last week, and today we can talk about it, but they are going non-commissionable and suppressed on a big portion of their portfolio. It's about 15% of their total portfolio right now, and it's basically all of any regional PPO, the RPPOs, a lot of the PPOs, but it's actually, that's what they initially said it as. There's actually quite a few different plans that are going non-commissionable and suppressed. So that's, while I feel very prophetic and justified of like my pulse of what's going on in the industry, that doesn't help us when it comes to, doing our job. Obviously, I want to talk about it for a couple of reasons. Generally, people have thought, oh, well, it's UnitedHealthcare. They're the largest, they're the best, they have the largest membership. They're insulated from a lot of these changes. They've got a lot of vertical integrations, meaning they own a lot of the networks, they own Optum, they own a lot of the distribution. They're able to weather the storm a little bit better. Well, that has not necessarily turned out to be true. And last AEP, they quote unquote won annual enrollment by adding almost 1 million lives. Well, these other carriers weren't stupid, right? They SAR'd a lot of that membership last year and were not profitable for a reason. Well, who scooped up and picked up a lot of that? United. So now we're in this situation where they are going to be making a lot of those non-commissionable and suppressed as of July 1st. So I have a whole list that I'll drop out of all the plans. We're kind of trying to run an impact study of how many policies with Agent Boost we have, but there's no sugarcoating it, guys. It really sucks, and I think that a lot of people, it's pretty surprising, and it just seems like the hits keep coming, right? And that's true, but I wanted to kind of transition that with, we'll talk a little bit more about that news specifically, but I wanted to open up with kind of our motivation and stuff. So when there's chaos like this in any industry, when there's a lot of change, it's easy to be like, oh, this sucks. I'm out, I can't handle it. This industry's going really bad. And I think that that's a natural reaction. And for us, especially here at Agent Boost, I think we've seen a pretty steady stream of not great industry news or difficulties over the past 2 or 3 years, really since COVID. I mean, if you guys think about it, COVID was catastrophic for a lot of people in the industry. It was catastrophic for a lot of field agents and FMOs. And we've grown every year, year over year. We almost double. And so for us, that just kind of shows me that there is a lot of opportunity from this chaos. And for those of us who are prepared, those of us who know how to take advantage of these opportunities, it's going to be a big win for us. And so I don't want you guys to get discouraged. There's going to be a little bit of work we need to do, but I think that we're all going to be able to win big from it long term, right? So these are a couple things that I thought of some of the benefits of a lot of this chaos that's been happening over the past. Did you hear the announcement? United's going non-commissionable on about 15% of their portfolio as of July 1st. Wow. So anyway, with a lot of the changes going on over the past couple of years, I'm seeing a lot of bad agents and agencies going out of business, right? A lot of these fraudsters, a lot of these guys that had telesales shops and they were just built on heap commissions and it was really churn and burn. The financial economics have kind of kicked them out of the industry already. Rules, regulation, but really the market's been going through this massive correction. And so I'm seeing a lot of bad agents and agencies leaving the industry in droves. And I think that's good ultimately for, not I think it's good, it's very good for the industry. And it's good for us, agents and agencies, FMOs that have always done things the right way, that are built in a healthy manner. There's a couple other things that I was thinking about. So chaos as a catalyst, meaning, yeah, there's a lot of disruption, but so far, Agent Boost, because of the way we're built, Dan and I have been talking about it a lot, and with our partners, we call it diversified controlled distribution, right? Or controlled diversified distribution. What that means is we have different agent channels, we have field agents, we have virtual guys, we have LOAs, we have W-2s, we sell Advantage plans, supplements, ACA. We're pretty diversified. So if I was a business that was built on Elevance business only in Tennessee or Ohio or one of these areas where they pretty much made all their main plans non-commissionable, I'd be feeling pretty sorry for myself, right? But because of the way that we've built the business strategically, we're pretty insulated from a lot of that. And same thing with a lot of you guys. We're going to cross-reference a lot of these plans that United is going to be making non-commissionable and suppressed. But we don't think that it's going to be catastrophic for any one agent. There might be one or two agents that have been very United heavy over their career, who may have quite a few of these policies on the books, but we think it's going to create a lot of opportunity. If I had to look in my crystal ball, guys, what generally happens when a plan goes commission and non-suppress? What happens later with the carriers? What did we see last year? So, if I was going to guess, I would not think that business is healthy, right? And one of the things that these carriers are trying to do, guys, is they're trying to shed this unprofitable business. And at large, we can either help them do it, we can be the mechanisms and the tool to help all these people find a good plan and that are more financially stable and healthier, or we can cry about it and think and feel sorry for ourselves, right? But what I'm saying is, for us, Agent Boost as a company, for you all as agents, I don't think that's going to impact anyone, too heavily. In fact, I think the opportunity it's going to create will way outweigh that. So one of the things that I learned that's been reiterated to me is don't be overly leveraged in one area or one product with one carrier. You guys that have been with me for 4 or 5 years or longer, how many times have you said, stop writing just one carrier, right? And I've almost had to it's almost become like a trope for me to talk to certain agents and agencies and being like, guys, I promise that carrier is not immune from some of these changes that are going on in the industry. Yes, that carrier, United may be big, this carrier may be big, but I promise you the market economics still apply to those carriers. Trust me when I say, don't put all your eggs in one basket, so to say, as my dad used to tell me. Another thing, guys, when there's chaos, people look for the professionals and they look for, somebody who they can trust. And if you look at the agent community right now, on these Facebook groups and in the insurance forums and things like that, it's like the sky is falling, right? Like, oh, this is the doomsday, this is the apocalypse, and it's easy to feel that way when it just seems like everything just keeps getting harder and harder and harder. But what do your clients want? They want a professional, right? They want somebody that can explain why these things are going on. They want somebody that can, help them find a safe, a smooth landing spot if their plans, being eliminated or things like that. They want a calm, cool heads, right? They want somebody that they can trust, that's knowledgeable, that's not like, oh yeah, you should just be so concerned your benefits are going to be going away and you're going to be left without anything, right? There's so much fear, uncertainty, doubt, and negativity that's already pushed through our whole country all the time with news and everything, that you guys have an opportunity to be these calm-headed, cool-headed professionals and help these clients save the day, right? Team opportunities. One of the things that I like about Agent Boost, and doesn't really matter if you're an agent or a field agent or a phone agent or whatever, there's a lot of collaboration, and I think generally we have this mindset that there's a lot of opportunity out there, and that no particular person and their success or their book of business takes away from another person. And so as you all hear things, find areas where there's opportunities, it's great to share those things out. That's what we're always doing. That's why I'm having this sales meeting right now. Tell you guys, address it head on, what's going on, find ways that we can act as a team, and ultimately we're going to do just what we did last year, which is grow again, right? There's that like African adage. It's like, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together, type of thing. So I think that really applies here with a lot of these changes that are going on in the industry. Is, when we function as a unit, as a team, when we can strategically focus on being effective, moving blocks of business where we need to, and targeting areas or opportunity zones, I think we're going to have a lot of success. Understand where the market is going. To open, I know for a fact that Dan and I have talked about this particular situation with United on the podcast and hypothesizing that it could or may happen, right? And that wasn't we had no inside knowledge on that other than just seeing what was going on with the marketplace, with the reimbursement rates, all the things that we're talking about all the time, and then the situation with UnitedHealthcare, looking at their financial situation, looking at the exit of the replacement of their CEO, all these types of things. There are indicators in the marketplace, right? And so I want you guys, if you guys want to be great agents, understand where the market's going. And really, it's this, we've talked about it before, it's this chemotherapy of the industry, right? The industry's been sick. It's not just the healthcare industry. It's a lot of financial institutions and legacy things built in the country that are going through a rebuild process. And our healthcare industry is sick. And this is part of it. And so as we go through this process, understand that these carriers, they're not, especially these big carriers, guys like United, they're not going to go out of business, right? They're not going to close up shop. They're too big. They're too institutionally important for the country. Even as they currently are, they're going to course correct and they're going to get back on track, right? So we can help them do it, and we can help these carriers shed the business that's unprofitable for them and move to a carrier who's better positioned. But you all need to be smart, diverse, dynamic agents in order to do that, right? You need to understand what's going on, not just like, oh, I sell Select Health in Utah, or I sell Elevance in this state, or I do this, but you have to understand these macro dynamics that are going on in the industry so you can look like a professional, and instead of being one of these, sky is falling, running around with like a chicken with your head cut off, you can be a professional. So that's what I got, guys, is let's look for opportunity in the chaos. Let's be the professionals that the industry needs. Don't freak out too much. There's probably going to be it might get a little bit worse before it gets better again, but we're in that like upward trajectory, I feel like. And I feel like as we get through plan year 2026, there's going to be a lot of amazing opportunities going forward, even beyond. But I really look at it and go, this doesn't hurt us that bad, right? We've talked about it before. Good, right? The Jocko Willink mindset of whenever anything bad happens, he says good. That's how I want to approach this is, hey, that's great. A lot of these people are going to freak out. More agents are going to bail out of the industry, and we're going to be the ones that help all those people find plans with products that are going to be financially viable long term. So I kind of covered that. UHC go non-commissionable. We have a whole list of those. I got to make sure that we can get that out. One of the things that I'll also say, because I'll talk about it on the podcast with Dan today, is Dan and I know a lot of this crap, but you'll never see us leak it. I saw people posting in Facebook groups and insurance forums this information right when their uplines or their FMOs were getting it. These carriers don't mess around with crap like that, guys. So if you ever see stuff like that, if you ever see it out in the marketplace, just know I think people will get their carrier contracts termed because they don't mess around when they say, hey, this is going to happen. Here's an NDA. Here's this news. This is when and how we're gonna do it. And people want to go and break the news and be these social media influencers and crap like that. It's not a good look. And all it does is it's that Chicken Little sky is falling mindset of oh my gosh, look at this, now this. It just doesn't go well, guys. AHIP's coming soon, next week, right? Can't believe we're at that time of year. Cert season's coming right up. Humana stores, we'll have some updates on Humana stores. If any of you guys are wanting to work those stores this year, we should have a better opportunity than we've ever had as far as pick and selection of some of these stores. And, I have at the end, sophisticated professionals needed. I really think right now, guys, virtual and the way that we've been doing virtual or telephonic enrollments is here to stay forever. But I also think there's a big rebound of back face-to-face and field and things like that now more than ever. With all the compliance crackdowns that are happening and a lot of these big telesales shops and kind of the bad reputation that a lot of these virtual sales entities have had, a lot of people are looking back towards the field. And more broadly, I look at what's going on, and I'll talk about this more over the next, I'm sure, year or two, but I see what's happening with AI, and I've been thinking about this a lot. What does AI stand for? Artificial intelligence, right? And I see that what all these companies are building, and they're building AI agents, and you don't have to talk to a real human. I'm I don't know that. Look, I'm a huge fan of tech, right, and progress. I think that's going to proliferate across the industry no matter what. But I really think that we're going to see this rebound back of people who they don't want to talk to an artificial person. They don't want it. It doesn't matter how sophisticated the algorithm is. I think we're going to see this almost boomerang effect of people that are I don't want to call this number. I don't want to go to this website because I don't know what sort of programming or artificial thing is happening there. I want to go talk to my local Rick, the insurance guy, face to face and talk to a real human. And, one of the great sci-fi movies of all time is The Matrix, the original. The others pretty much suck. But the original Matrix, they built the Matrix with imperfections because they realized that the human mind would reject this perfect utopia. They built a perfect computer program, but humans needed that imperfection, that conflict. And I don't know, that's my weird analogy of why I think AI is not going to completely replace all of us over time, is I think that even if it gets so good that you can't tell that this is an AI or not, people are still going to want to be doing business with other human beings, right? I think we're going to choose that collectively as a society again and again for many reasons. And so I'm looking for opportunities where, you all can still remain those good old-fashioned humans that can connect with people and help them, and people can trust you, and you can be a sophisticated professional, right? So that was my rambling segue into there's going to be some more of these retail type opportunities coming. There's going to be more field opportunities. And so we're going to continue to look for ways to connect you all to these beneficiaries that need help in this chaotic landscape, okay? Again, just a reminder, a couple of things that we talk about every sales meeting: no sales raptors, your fiduciaries, your licensed insurance professionals, you're not sales enrollers, right? So you're making sure you're doing a quality enrollment, you're taking people, making sure they get enrolled, and then we have a mechanism to help them on the back end. They know how to get a hold of you. Effectuation, just reminders, especially this one, if your enrollments are less than 20 minutes, it's probably not a very good quality enrollment, and to make sure that you're doing a good, thorough job, and again, that you're being one of these professionals in the industry. Pipeline management, I still think we suck at this as a company in mass. I don't think that a lot of people are properly pipelining and dispositioning using the CRM in the way that it should. We spend a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of resources in that, and I really hope you guys are taking advantage of effective pipeline management, meaning any person that you're talking to that's a lead potentially, it's being properly captured and you're working it some way down the road, turning not just T65s. There's all this change that we keep talking about every week. Are you putting notes there? Are you able to accurately follow up with these clients at different times when they maybe have an SEP that's appropriate for them? This is the difference between an okay agent and a great agent. My great agents are the ones that are maximizing every opportunity, and they do that in a large part by properly managing their pipeline and their leads. If you need training on that, please let us know. Community Center, I just posted some stuff on the Community Center today. We're going to keep putting out trainings on this, keep using it as a resource. Between this and Slack, hopefully all of you feel like you're able to get access to quick, efficient help, training, resources, a library, a repository of good information, and we're going to continue to put stuff here. It's really hard right now, especially the last couple of years, to make like training videos, right? Because things are changing so quickly. Even our the tech stack we use, Sunfire, we put a video on how to use it, and then they come out with an update the next month. Same thing with the CRM or the industry at large, right? You put out a training and then that doesn't really apply 2 months later. So we're going to continue to replenish the library in these trainings, but you've got to be plugged in as an agent right now. You've got to be paying attention. It's like drinking from a fire hose sometimes with all that's going on, but we got to do it. I'm starting to see quite a few agents hitting this referral bonus. So if you refer an agent to us, doesn't matter what agent you are, and that referred agent becomes active, and we deem that by producing any 15 policies, we'll pay you the $500 referral bonus. So that's a great way, if you've been in the industry for a while and you know other people, to make some extra cash. I remember my former life, my former career, when I worked at Comcast as a sales rep, they had a $500 employee referral bonus. Why do you think Dan, Brian, all these people that I have here in the industry right now worked there? Because I was like, Kim, come do work with me, and we can make some money together, and I'll make a $500 referral bonus. One year I made 10 grand in referral bonuses for my referring people over to the company. So worked out for me. Elite agent training. The next one's here in this room, the 24th and 25th. So next week, we've got some agents flying out. If you're an agent that, whether you're aligned with us or not, these trainings are free. They're really good, two-day in-depth trainings. You should really make sure that you've attended one of these if you're an independent agent in any way or an LOA. The next one after that will be in Tampa, August 5th and 6th. So make sure you reach out to one of your team leaders or your agent support if you want to attend one of these and you want more information. You can actually register on our Agent Boost website for these trainings. Trip updates. I'll send out some trip updates today. Grand Cayman or its equivalent. Let you guys know where you're at. We're doing 3 points on Golden Rule right now, guys, and I'm seeing a lot of agents doing really well with that. So writing a good amount of good Golden Rule ancillary, we're doing well. We saw the largest increase in May and June. Those have been our two highest months. Like every month over month, we're trending to beat the prior month with those ancillary sales. And that's great because it's the slowest time of the year technically. So what that shows me is you guys are doing a good job of reaching out to your clients, opening your mouth, talking to them about it, reaching out to your former books of business and seeing if you can't add value and help your clients get better overall coverage. Great sales last week. Gundy, is this right?
Yeah, that's right.
Dang, man. Great work. That's a great job. Bree, Michael Bertier, Carolyn, Zach, Ethan, Lorena, Luis, and Fernando. Let's go through all of you. Adriana, Kathy, Evelyn, Donna, Linda, and Sophia. Great job. Hey, I got to call out any of our W-2s here in Utah. You guys got to step your game up. You're getting your butts kicked by Tampa lately. So I'm not sure how we're letting that happen. So shout out to you guys in Tampa. You're doing a great job. Month to date so far, these are great numbers, guys, for a June. We're trending to beat our numbers last year by pretty substantially. Again, I only highlight that because with all the change, all the turmoil, all the chaos going on in the industry, we just keep doing more and more and keep growing. There's always going to be opportunity for those of us that are prepared. So that's what I got, guys. Appreciate you. Have a great week.